All right, everybody, it's May 20th. So tonight we're going to take like a little bit of a break from buy box and setting that stuff up. And I'm putting this on, anybody sees on the recording, or if you come in late, I'll reiterate it later. If you need a one-on-one, I'll just get with you and help you get yours set up because we got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to show a few things tonight. Let me see, go ahead real quick. I'm going to go ahead and bring up share screen now. So tonight we're going to take a little bit of a different, trying to go into some of these other apps. Now, a lot of people know we obviously have RCIC Core. Everybody has RCIC Core. Like I said, if you need help with getting it set up for yourself, then let me know. It is pretty self-explanatory. For anybody that needs it, you can guys go to the core, you get it set up, and what I tell people to do is just on the core, the core itself, it's the main page of core, which is this. That's coming up in a second. If you guys just go to the setup or update my buy box, it will actually, and I'm going to do this real quick at the beginning, just to show everybody. If you guys go to the buy box here, you guys will see the buy box card set up, right? You guys know this is the copy and paste. So copy and paste this down. You guys will see all the questions it's going to ask you. If it doesn't pertain to you, you guys can delete it. But if not, just leave it. You can put 0 or not applicable, or just delete it. It just whatever makes you, easier for you. But what you want to do is copy and paste it. You guys see the structured example. So leave the structured example there. You copy and pasted that. So let me come back up here real quick and do that. I'm not going to fill it out because but I'll show you exactly what you do is leave structured examples so you can keep going back to it, right? And then you want to put in your copy and paste in your prompt bar. Keep in mind, like I said, I have the orange outline because and I'm going to do the cover. It's like 2 minutes, and then we're going to move on to what the topics tonight. So I have that orange outline around my prompt bar because I have developer mode. Yeah, nothing else is different for you other than that. So you'll paste that into here. Like I said, you can use a mouse. I prefer to use a mouse. Obviously, it's your preference. Your finger, just fill it out. Go down the entire buy box. Fill it out. You can take out if something doesn't matter, but kind of be specific. Put in a lot of information. Spend time putting more information in than you think. The more information you get, the more opportunities you're going to have, and the more it's going to be accurate to what you're doing. That's where the accuracy is. Before you hit this, the blue button. Let me kind of make an adjustment real quick. Before you guys hit the send prompt or enter, go ahead and copy and paste this after you filled it in, right? Then hit the copy and paste. Because what you're going to want to do is when you set up your first project, which is the buy box project over here in projects, you guys will see that when you come over here to projects, you guys will see there's a buy box, but I have a separate project for the buy boxes. And you guys will see wherever it's at. It's in here. You guys want to set these up like in a row, so you guys will see my buy box, right? I'll set up the buy box there, and I will go ahead and just copy and paste what I just did there. So that way it's in there. Then you guys use chat. So when you guys put in your NEDs, your NODs, all your different deals that come into the deal flow, you guys could just build them off the chats, which will go down the list. You can have a couple hundred of them. So that's where you start your buy box. Anybody that doesn't have it, ask me for you want my markets, we'll do a market guide. And you guys get a market guide. I can send you any of the ones we have. It may say Cuyahoga for Ohio, maybe say Tarrant County for Dallas or Harris County for Houston. Just enter it in your buy box. And in your markets, right? Set up a markets project, ask it to duplicate it for your counties and your zip codes. And then have it duplicate, then rinse and repeat. So if you got like 10 counties, you can just have it make 10 of them and make them specific. Keep in mind when you guys are going to use this prompt, I'm going to show you tonight. You guys, it may seem redundant, but you may want to put in if it's a judicial versus non-judicial, the states are different. Don't run the same prompt. Don't run the same counties together because it doesn't screw it up, but it just makes it a lot more efficient for you. If you don't have them all together. So you guys will get those other PDFs from me. The second one, obviously, you have markets. Your third one's going to be a PDF that you guys get all these from the RCIC Facebook group, which is, I can send you if you're not in there already. You guys can go there and download these. The next one you want to put in is your comps. Then you want to put a market reality assessment. Then you want to obviously have your rehab and scope of work project. but we don't really have a prompt for that. So that's when you guys will want to go back to the RCIC core screen, go into modes, go to rehab mode, run a rehab there, whatever you're working on for the deal there, bring it back and put it into that project. That's what the rehab and scope of work project. After rehab and scope of work, then you put in your ARV discovery, fill up your value ARV, and then you'll put in skip tracing and the skip tracing war room prompt. Those are the 5, and I have separate PDFs now for all those. If you want them, I'll send them to you, and I'll actually go through and explain it. I won't send them 5 on one messenger. I'll send this, give you the instructions, send that one, give you the instructions. So that way, it just helps you set these up. So it's pretty cool that way. Makes it a lot more efficient. Keep in mind, you guys, it seems like it's going to be a little redundant or a little slower and a little bit more work than maybe you thought, but it's only going to be about 30 days. You guys are going to dial in and you're going to be training your system that way. It's just much more efficient. And then after about 30 days, once you've done it a few times, you got everything keyed up, you guys will be able to do 90% of your deal, of your work through your prompt part. It'll be fully trained. So now we're going to get back to kind of what we're going to talk about tonight, guys. And you guys saw me post a little bit about this today. So you guys might have been, hey, what are you talking about? Because people usually give me that kind of response, like when I put cool stuff in there. So we created, I'm going to show you guys in the system, but we created some what we call the RCIC Acquisition OS. It is available now. It does take API. So it means you have to go to Anthropic if you really want to use it, but you won't have to put much in it. You go to Anthropic, if you use the guide, because there's a 21-page guide that goes through, it tells you how to set up a Netlify. You go set your own Netlify up. You can set it up for free. You don't have to pay for it until there's a certain point. And nobody in this program, unless you guys are building like I am, will need the $9 account, let alone the $20 a month account. So take advantage of setting up the free. It tells you how to do it. Then you'll go to Anthropic, and it'll give you, and you go $20 of API. You'll get an API code. That's the key. That you'll put that in there. And also that same key will also apply to RCIC systems. Like we give you the access keys when it asks you for like, and that only the access key and API there only is for skip tracing, TC, some of those things, capital passport, where you have to talk to the AI. In RCI systems, I'll show you guys tonight, all the tools are now launched. So all the tools can work offline, meaning you don't need API. But for a lot of stuff we're building as API. The good thing is Core will do it. So a lot of the things, so you guys can go over there and use all the tools, use the analyzers, calculators, a bunch of them, right? If you don't want to do API, then you can use Core to do the skip tracing and all that stuff, the war room prompt, like we just talked about, setting up your project. It gives you guys the best of everything. So you guys can go back and forth and you have a lot of ability to do things. So we built the acquisition OS system. I'm finalizing right now the intelligence, what we call GIS intelligence. I did I did post today that you guys can go on there. It is in the grip. You can just go on to the mock. It shows how the face is going to be, the front end, what you guys say and what you guys work with. And then I'm going to tweak it over the weekend, and then it'll be live on Monday. In June, we are going to be launching the what I call the RCIC will be it's basically Signal. You guys can see that. I posted some stuff about that today to get some feedback. It's going to be a totally compliant with guardrail system for cold calling, for texting, for emails, all the compliance stuff, because you guys are in all the groups where everybody's talking about, like, you got to be compliant if you're making cold calls. The cool thing is we're putting a lot of features in these. We have more features in these. RCIC systems alone goes deeper than any analyzer or calculator out there you'll see. But then also we'll be doing doc on demand probably the end of June, which will be 250 roughly documents. You guys see a lot of the stuff in Files tab in the Facebook groups and stuff. You guys will see all that. You'll be able to download them just like any of those online, but you have to pay for it. You won't have to pay for it because you guys already did. Your link will work. And you'll be able to just generate anything you want, document-wise, LOIs, contracts, addendums, everything, purchase and sale agreements, wholesaler contracts, all that stuff, 250 documents, or you can modify your own. The other things we'll be launching in June will be apps. We've already got them out tested in Texas. We've already got one for NorCal, for Northern California. I'm building them now for Southern California, Illinois, and New York. And I also think I'll be building one for the Michigan group. We've got 9 people in Michigan. And we also have another one that's called for rural markets, basically to go into small markets, because it not only uses, you guys are used to me now pulling up the notice of election demands from the counties. What happens is a lot of times in smaller counties, all of those are together. It's not like they don't separate them by foreclosure versus tax liens versus some stuff the moonshine, whatever the sheriff does. Just joking, but I mean that's how those counties are. They put everything together. They also use a lot of smaller newspapers, and so it basically the rural app will actually go out there and pretty much scour the rural newspapers and pull up little ads, because like the newspaper in my town, like $10 it has a little ad, and they have to put a little ad in there. And I think I've shown you guys, I haven't shown you probably the ads, but I've shown you guys in those document packs that they have to pay for ads because they have to advertise twice for legal publications. So the rural app will help. And then, like I said, we should be fully functional. And then we'll also give you guys, like, if you with the Gumroad, we're using gumroad.com, which you guys can see. You can go there. I can send you there. There'll be a store there where people can actually go, and instead of having to get everything from me, they can just go there and they can download everything. Makes it easier. So if you guys are out there, I'm trying to figure out how to put referral links in what we can, because some things we can pay referral fees on, and some things we can't. But I, build you an app or something if I can. If anybody needs, and this goes to everybody that's going to watch this video later after it's online, because everybody here is probably going to be I'm pretty much speaking to the choir and the people that are on right now. But yeah, we'll be able to try to pay some referral fees, which is pretty cool. So like I said, we've got a couple of really good systems, guys. These are phenomenal systems, and they're pretty, I just can't believe how well these have come together. So keep in mind, guys, it's not the lack of tools, it's connected intelligence. So everything here with the API, with accessing Anthropic and OpenAI, all that, it's basically connecting everything. Because you guys see, if you guys go in all these groups, how many different things that are real estate investors buying to run all their systems together. Sometimes 4 or 5. James, I just saw you come on. How many different programs or platforms or subscriptions do you think most real estate investors have? A lot.
I don't know.
So, yeah. So this kind of puts a lot of stuff together. They all work together. So they can almost hand off to each other. So you can go from like pulling foreclosures to analyzing them to doing your comps to doing your skip tracing. You literally don't have to bounce around or pay multiple subscriptions, which is nice for people. So that's kind of why I was doing this. So everything's awesome. You guys got the highway, which is the RCIC systems. Core is here. You guys can build on core. You build it, on yourself. So you get the best of 2 worlds. Over there, it's more structured, more static. It's not going to change much. Over here, we can change it on the fly on core. So you guys got to, it just depends on what you like. You want to try both. You have access to them. Get your access key. And like I said, if you don't want to have to do API, because it's not going to be a lot of cost, $20, but it's your choice. It's not like I'm, you're having $20 a month subscription to OpenAI, $20 a month to Claude. You might throw $20-$50 onto the API, and then don't hit the auto renew until what you can always never have to push that. So everything here is browser native, which is nice. So nothing is stored elsewhere. I don't store any of this stuff. We have buyers and sellers. I'll show you that in RCIC systems in a minute. You guys can start building a buyers list, build your sellers pipeline, and I'm going to be putting together a bridge that allow that to actually communicate. So people that are wholesalers or people that are doing a lot of different buyers and sellers or things like that, you can start the matching. It also has Capital Passport with all the matching. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. So we got RCIC Acquisition OS. The concept, it's why you need infrastructure. These are deployed into our systems. Like I said, they're browser native. Everything's browser native, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not SaaS, so it's not locked in. It's cool. Literally, you can just go log on to it, and you're there, and it's your app, and it's once it's set up, you're good. So most prop tech is designed to keep you inside their system. RCIC is designed to let operators own theirs. So you guys own everything on it, which is cool. And then you guys get, we're going to show you guys deal intake analysis, capital matching, rehab scope generation, transaction coordination, GIS. It's all on there. And then we got Signal and GIS coming out, which will have distress signals, everything foreclosure, probate, all that, municipal overlays. That's all your AHJs. It's going to score everything. There's also parcel intelligence going on, looking at that parcel, what's going on with that property, that lot. You guys get all that information, all the layer stackings, and then it gets all the geographic targeting. So we're not collecting properties, we're identifying changing conditions. And GIS matters. I mean, GIS is how everything is mapped. 911 uses GIS. Everything, out there, their engineers building streets, building storage, storm drainage, all that uses GIS. So it's going to be, and then it's most operators out there are missing municipal signals, and so it's going to be awesome. And timing beats. You guys are going to be speed to yield. You hear about this. So tonight we're also going to talk about the Delta Sweep protocol, guys. And you guys saw me. Now, Delta Sweep is actually a term that AI uses in OpenAI here. So I just called it the RCIC Delta Sweep protocol. You guys saw it, and most of you, I think I've sent you guys the PDF that has the prompts on there that I talk about. You guys see these reports that I generate that I show you guys. That's a Delta Sweep. So when you guys put that Delta Sweep protocol PDF, change it to your markets. It says Colorado. If you're in Harris County, if you're in Wayne County, wherever you're at, just change all that information, have it do it, enter the prompt bar and ask it to duplicate it for that. And that's your Delta Sweep protocol. You want to deploy that with agents in agent mode, which is obviously here in your more, you go to agent mode and deploy that PDF for your market with the Delta Sweep. And that's what it calls it. So AI calls it that. I don't know why it calls that. I didn't really ask, but that's what we're going to call it, the Delta Sweep protocol. And that will start generating you guys all those, and you get 40 agents. So if you're looking at, if you're national, you're probably going to use a lot of your agents. If you're local, you got 5 counties, you'll probably use 5 agents under that to generate your foreclosures, your lists. And then you might, use another 5 to go ahead and follow that, follow to Harris County and then go pull comps and all that. And then you only use like 10 agents. So we call that the Delta Sweep protocol. So the foreclosure list tells you what might happen. The courthouse docket tells you what survived contact with reality. So step 1, and it walks you through it, guys. I've seen it, and so it's available now. You guys can just go download it in the RCIC group, and I did put it in the associates. So it should be at the top when you guys, because I know a lot of people are like, go to the RCIC Facebook group files because there's a lot of stuff there. I haven't been posting stuff for 5 years like I have the associates group. And then you guys will see the Delta Sweep. Matter of fact, it's named there. So you guys, actually today, you don't have to go to files. You can just go to that Facebook group and it's right there. Just get the Delta Sweep protocol. So it's going to collect. Yeah.
Quick question. So when you're doing this sweep per county, can you do it by state?
Yeah.
Can you tell it to do by state? How many agents would it use for that?
It's not going to use that much. It's because I'm doing it all the time. And I'm only using like 1 agent a month for that. I'm getting 15 reports, and I don't know how many agents I'm actually using that because I've never come up to where every time it gives me, because it tells you, and every time I come up, it says I got like 30 agents left at 32 or 33 out of 40. So I'm like, I don't worry about it. But I deploy those because you're probably going to be more national where somebody else, Ginger's on here. She'll probably be like East Texas. Kenny will be, I know Fred, you'll be like Alabama and your areas. So you guys won't use as many as like I would use or maybe James would use because you're more national, right? You're more regional. Unless you go into specific markets. If you go into specific markets, then that's cool. Use that protocol because that's going to start sweeping in all those reports. And then that protocol, you guys will see at the end of that, it actually asks you where you want it sent. Do you want to put it just on your canvas? No, I would have it sent to the Gmail. Set up that free Gmail like I showed you guys, and then apps. And it tells it that. So go through that PDF. It's already ready, and the prompt is in there saying it'll walk you through all the instructions on how to do it. It's pretty quick, probably about the third, maybe by 3 days. It might take 3 days, but you'll start waking up like I didn't even know I was getting a Tuesday report. I got a Tuesday report. I didn't know I was getting a Wednesday report. I got a Wednesday report today. Tomorrow I should get 4 on Thursday. I'm getting 15 reports a week. Some of them are national, some of them are to Colorado. I get one for Evergreen from my town. It's usually that Ponderosa property. As long as that thing's up and available, that's going to show up every week. So you guys can tweak them. Everything you can tweak, just use that PDF and kind of make the changes. And you don't just go enter in the ask anything in the prompt bar and ask it to change it from the Colorado, it says foreclosure. You guys go in there and ask it to change it for your market, state, pretty much state, county, and zip code. Is the best way. If you got
So
multiple,
I can't just say, hey, for every county in Florida or
oh,
every county in Texas. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. No, I
Okay.
already said that. Yeah, you can put it in Florida. You can put it in the entire state. What I recommend people don't do is don't put in a state that's judicial and a state that's non-judicial for foreclosure together, because it just hasn't worked out too well. I don't know how to I don't know how to fix that. Just the little fixes, don't do it. Just do,
It's
Texas.
another one of those get in a fight situations where the computer might blow up thing.
Well, the computer just gets, it just slows things down. If you've got, wide open state like Colorado as far as non-judicial, and you go to like a judicial state, it's going to basically it's not going to blow up, but it's going to be like, it's going to slow things down. So you'd want to use a second agent, and the market guides and all that will tell you can ask it with this is a judicial state, because you guys see on my screen right now, and it talks about Rule 120. Rule 120 is in Colorado. So you guys can go and change that. So and it actually talks about it. So you can explain it. There's a trustee lane, there's a judicial lane, an overbid lane. Here we talk about Rule 120. So obviously Cardinal's 120, so you guys can read what's going on there. Texas is fast trustee timelines. Illinois is judicial. So don't put Colorado and Illinois together in a search. Have separate agents run that separate protocol. And then rural, there's data inconsistency. If there's HOA heavy, it's going to have hidden lien exposure. So you can actually implement this. It's very simple. Just go in and put that PDF document. And I sent that over to you. I think that was the last one I sent you last night, James. Anybody else needs that specific one or can't find it, let me know and I'll send it to you on Messenger. But like I said, just change it to your state, your counties, and the searches you want. And we're just calling it the Delta Suite protocol, because that's what AI calls it, a Delta Suite. I don't know why. We can ask it, but it'd be probably waste. It's just really not important. It just really works because I've shown you guys the reports I get, and you're probably not going to see a lot of people in these groups are like, oh, I get thousands a week. Well, you're probably not going to get thousands unless you go to like, me, I'm going from Casper, Wyoming down to Pueblo to Summit County, Colorado to Watkins Bennett. And for those of you who don't know, Watkins Bennett, it's about 15 miles east of Aurora, Colorado, right on I-70. There's an airport there, so you guys can see on the map, little community airport, actually called Air and Space Port. And then I go to Summit County, which you guys look on the map is where Breckenridge and Keystone, the ski resorts, are. And then if I drop all the way down to Pueblo, down the further part of the state, and then I go into Casper, Wyoming. So that's where I'm searching all mine. And otherwise I got national, and we put in 50 markets, and those 50 markets have about 6,513 zip codes. So it does search like the actual opportunities. I'll get stuff in those 50 every week. I'll get something in Illinois, or I'll get something in Delaware, or I'll get something in Arizona. So it just really depends. You guys just got to change that over to yourself, and then change that other one. There's a market guide. So those are only the two things you really got to change on PDFs. Is just change the market guide, because it might say Harris, it might say Wayne County for Detroit. Change that one, put it in the prompt bar, and ask it to duplicate it for your counties or your states. Whatever it is, James, and all of you, whatever it is, whatever state or counties, just have it change it to that wherever you're operating at. It'll do it, so you don't have to worry about it. It'll make a new one. Then just save it and then just rinse and repeat. If you want to hit all 50 states, you can. It's just you're going to use up. You're not going to have enough agents to do that unless you start putting can you run all these judicial states together and all the non-judicial? I think there's 23 and 26, and I think there's I forget what the other one is. I think Alaska is a weird one, but I mean, who's flipping Alaska? So you got APIs, guys. Like I said, you only need to use the API if you really want to go. Well, I don't think anybody needs to spend money. I think people could suffice and put $50 or $100 in there. It just deducts, and it deducts as tokens. And it goes in there and runs things and skip tracing and in the systems and RCIC systems, which is the one will give you the access key to set up. And also these other apps, it does require API. So if you want to use them, it will. There's some static, meaning like if it's a calculator, it doesn't have to access anything or go pull data or go scrape. It doesn't have API. But if it does, but you want to do some of that on a limited basis, but you can offset that cost of those tokens by doing a lot of it in core. So it'll do a lot of stuff on there. So everybody's building these SaaS products. Don't have really go what SaaS stands for. This is all hosted on Netlify. Like I said, you guys can open a free Netlify account. They give you, I think, 300 credits a month for free, which it only, if you're just hosting stuff on there, you're not constantly making changes, because that's what I'm going through. I've spent 1,300 credits already in May, and out of my 3,000. So I will, so you won't, if you're just hosting, you just go deploy once. It's called a deploy, and I'll do a one-on-one to help you. You put these apps on Netlify, so they're yours. They actually become yours. They're not an assistant. They're not even, I can't access them. You have your own Netlify account. There's a way to set it up where people can have Netlify and GitHub, and you guys see some, these like open cloud projects that are open source. Well, everybody has like permission to go in there and do things, but they can't obviously go, they call it a repository in GitHub, which is GitHub. You go to GitHub. And so you build all this stuff in Claude or OpenAI, then you go to GitHub, you load it. There's a process. When it loads in there, it pushes out a term called pushes. It pushes to Netlify. So Netlify and GitHub are connected through, and it basically loads up to Netlify, and that's what powers up the, it hosts everything. You guys see me posting all that stuff. So it's all lightweight. It's all portable. It's yours. It's why you own everything at this point. So when you get these apps, you own it. Everything you guys have, you own. So the stuff we'll have subscriptions on, because we are a different story. If people are paying $3.99 a month or whatever, that doesn't it doesn't apply to you guys. You guys own everything for life. Everything I do, you don't even have to ask. It's just, hey, do I want this? Do you want to try this? You want to beta it? Whatever. You guys get a first crack at it to go beta it. And because I'm working a lot on lead, all the stuff you guys see in these groups, lead generation, skip tracing. If you guys are in these other groups too, these wholesaling groups, all these groups, people are asking all the time, what's the best software for this? What's the best for that? Start talking about RCIC, because the more people we get into it, I mean, you guys think obviously, yeah, it helps Kevin and Jesse and Paul and I with, as a business, but it helps you guys get more people in because it builds more intelligence. And the more we talk about it, the better. It's just incredible. And I can keep building the best thing. Like I said, you guys have the benefit of getting to use everything for free. You've already paid. You don't have to pay me ever a penny again. So it's just like these things on these subscriptions. Yeah, you got to pay OpenAI and Claude and for API, but you guys are going to get a lot of stuff sent your way. And you guys just can use whatever you want. It's cool. It's gonna, if there's something out there that you guys want to see it, we'll build it. Like we might talk at the end tonight about what we're doing. I don't know, James, if you want to, maybe at the end of the session, if you want to spend about 3 minutes going over maybe what we've been talking about, just to kind of, because everybody here is kind of key. There's a lot of people that are on tonight that could probably help with that. So let me go ahead real quick and kind of jump over to there. I'm not really going to go into too much into the GPT side tonight, because we've been going there. I will be doing it tomorrow night. I'll be showing you guys. Let me try to get over to. Yeah, I got to go over to this thing where I got go over to. There's a thing where I've got to go over and jump over to the.
Hey Nate, I might have to do another day. I gotta jump off a little early today.
Oh, no problem. I'll just send you I'll send you the video in the morning when I process it. I'm probably gonna watch the hockey game tonight. So guys, go ahead and remember that if you don't see the screen that you think I'm talking about, let me know so I can make sure. I'm trying to fix it right now. Okay, so you guys know here's the highway. So just so you guys know, the highway is always referring to the RCIC systems. So when you guys go into here, you guys will see that's the one you have the access key now. Anybody needs help with your access key, let me or Kevin or Jesse know. And then you guys got so like the HJ intelligence, deal analyst. Now I get it, you guys are saying it's dark. There is and then most of the tools, I may fix this so you can have light versus dark. It does work in the tools. You got deal analyst, you got buyers and sellers, you got capital passport, rehab scope of work, transaction coordination, skip tracing, wholesale, multifamily, and you got the SEC, strategic investment engine or stack intelligence engine. That is if you're doing Morby type deals like Gator stuff. Skip tracing requires API, capital passport API, and you get in some of the HJ intelligence. This is buyers and sellers, guys. And we talk, this is cool. This is what you guys want to start doing because you can start looking at your buyers, cash buyer, hard money, conventional, landlord, fix and flip. You start putting your buyers in there, you start adding them in. You can do manually. I'll have it in this week to do to load by CSV. I don't see this, guys. There's nothing I can see, nothing nobody else can see. This is secure. We talked about putting a bridge in there so that because you can also build your seller's pipeline. Here's the situation. So when you're dealing with sellers, are they tax delinquency? Is it pre-foreclosure, probate, tired landlord? What is it? And you start putting their information, that situation. Here's the status, new lead, contacted, follow-up, appointment set. This becomes your CRM. So basically we'll put a bridge in there where if you guys are like doing a lot of deals, you start building this up, this is going to get very full. You guys can actually then have your buyers and sellers. It can start actually matching. So it can start looking at who's looking at what. Here's your AHJ intelligence, guys. When you guys get down here, it's going to ask you at the end to, it's going to ask you the states. There's all 50 states. Your strategy focus, foreclosures, tax delinquencies, probate. You guys get into all those. And then you can put in the county name. So I put in Jefferson. It's going to ask you some questions, what to request at the courthouse. It's going to give you an exit, a script for that situation. Lead timing windows. It's going to give you absentee owners, things like that. Here's some things. Ask about your county's HJ sources, distress types, and all that. There is the tool. You guys can see it's right there, dark versus light. So it's right there on the top right there. If you guys see where I'm clicking, HJ intelligence. So just like in core, it's got 11 distress topics. It's got foreclosure, mortgage late, list pendants, which are judicial foreclosures, tax lien deed, probate, eviction, bankruptcy code violations, surplus, overbid, divorce, estate, absentee, tired landlord. The reason this takes API, a lot of this is it scrapes. OpenAI, which is core, doesn't do a lot of good jobs on scrapes. You guys know it does amazing when you have public sources, the AHJs, the counties. So keep that in mind. So this does take API, and that it can walk you through it. You guys get a deal analyst. So it starts in this has triage, buy box. It has your market MRA. Just like what I said, and you guys can use this as an example for setting up your core. How does it set up market reality assessment, ARV, your comps? It gives you a decision memo. At the end, you can hit this and it'll process it. Triage, buy box, risk, chain 13, which is that ARV, comps, MRA. It's got your pipeline triage. And then bring me a lead, give me the address, property type, and what you're trying to do with it. I'll run the chain and give you one decision. It's either advance, archive it, or kill it. So that's your deal. And then like I said, you got capital passport, which has everything for doing everything. And like I said, you can change from light to dark. And so you guys see right here, it says 936 capital sources, family offices, hedge funds. Down here, 437 active lenders, private money, bridge, construction, specialty. That's all the databases that we have, 1,383 capital passport. So you guys work capital passport. You get into some of the other stuff, but another thing that's cool is you guys go to here on this, I'm just under welcome back, and you press like DA, deal analysis. You guys can go up here right there as tools. I know you got, and then over here you can switch the things. Here's your tools, guys. And I put in that Home Depot for real estate investors. I'm trying to figure out if I should take that out because I don't want to get like sued by Home Depot. I'm sure they have better lawyers than I do. Deal analyst, here's your wholesale calculator. Here's your self-storage. Here's your residential assisted living. Here's your stack intelligence like Morby's. Even says that, Morby method. Capital passport. Your BRRRR, if you're doing any BRRRRs. If you're doing short-term rentals. Glamping, which is luxury camping. Land deal. So I know we got a couple of people in the group who have asked me about land deals. Chris Newton, he's not on tonight, but a few other people. Here's your multifamily. which by the way gets you also into, you can do loans, but you can also go in a screen that helps you set up syndications if you're raising capital and you need investors. It'll walk you through that. Here's your mobile homes, and here's your TCs. So the other thing I've got to still add, and I'll put there'll be another one down here for RV parks, and there'll be another one for buy and holds for just flips, because those are pretty simple. Your deal analysis right now, deal analysis can handle those two for flips and rental properties. You guys get into let's just look at REL, residential assisted living. So it's going to come up like this, guys. Residential assisted living has multiple components. Here it's going to get all this is the entire real estate side. So everything is the real estate, right? You go into the section 2 is the care plan. And over here it talks about acuity. It's like Alzheimer's and dementia is the highest acuity. So it talks about is a residential care facility for elderly, or is it for injury, or is it for memory care, Alzheimer and dementia? Is it owner operated? What is it? In the middle, it's going to have caregivers, nurses, administrators, cooks, and housekeepers. It's going to help with all the expenses of all those people that staff the care plan. Then the third is billing and payer. Payer could be over here. It could be self-pay. It could be insurance. It could be VA/TRICARE, which is, what the TRICARE is the health program that families of active military are in. And then obviously VAs for people that are out of the military. Then you guys get into obviously insurance, but you also get into Medicaid, and you get into Medicare Part A and Part B. It walks you through all the bed spaces, how much you're doing for the beds and all that. Then it has a deal summary that puts all that stuff together and gives you an underwriting. So that's pretty cool. Nobody else goes as deep as we go. This is the deepest for residential assisted living that anybody goes. I made sure everything, short-term rentals is also that same way. So those are your tools, guys, in RCIC systems. You can set up your access key. If you need another one, let us know. Set that up, put your login in, and you guys can go start playing with it. Keep in mind, like I said, all those tools in Tool Store, those are all available offline. You don't need API. So it's a cool thing, cool feature about that. Let me go in real quick. Shit goes Netlify. So Netlify is where I host all this stuff, right? So I go to my login. So you guys want to set up your own Netlify. And then, like I said, it's free. I have the $20 amount account because I'm hosting everything for you guys. So you guys can see, you guys will work in projects and I'll work with you. There's RCI systems like I just showed you. Here's GIS skip tracing. This will be fully active on Monday. This is Acquisition OS, which I just showed. So let me show you this one, and then I'll come back and show you the other one. So I want to go over here, and this is kind of what we talked about. We talked about this a little last night. So this is OS. This does need API. Search your deals by name, location, and type. You can put in, it's pretty cool, deal type. What is underwritten? What is LOI ready? What is LOI sent? What is in discussion? What is closed deal? You guys can get into War Room. Here's your skip tracing. RCIC War Room protocol. Select a deal or enter property details to run full intelligence analysis, including scoring. If you guys want to know, you can ask Core what EVS scoring is and how it works. It's got all the tiers on it: compliance review and outreach strategy. Enter manually below. This is your skip tracing here: property address, zip code, ownership, estimated equity, asset type, and you can run the intelligence in that report. So here's your skip tracing again. Is this an absentee owner? What kind of entity? All that. And then you guys can get into, like I said, into the intelligence. And it gets into cap rates. Here's all that lot rent Tampa. You can start researching stuff with this. So that is, like I said, that is the Acquisition OS, which we talked about. You guys have access. The guide, this is it's in RCIC's Facebook group. And it has the zip drive. It's near the top, so you guys can download it. It's got a 21-page guide. It teaches you how to do this because right now it looks basic. It's not. Use that guide. Get your Netlify set up. If you want API, set it up. This thing will blow your mind of how just incredible it is. And then I'll show you the other one real quick. That'll be out Monday. There's some more that I'm working on, guys. Obviously, so I can show you guys one more time on this. Like I said, when you guys are ready to actually, if you decide you want to have it, you want to use these, you don't have to do Netlify for systems. It has its own standalone. There's another standalone system we're kind of working on right now, and I'll have maybe James kind of introduce it in a few minutes. So we're going to GIS, guys. It's kind of the same thing. I'm going to go here, and will be out Monday. This even takes intelligence even further. So you guys get into like, here's for VAs, so you can connect your VAs. Here's explanations. Here's how it'll coach you through the system. Priority leads, active leads, monitor them. You got the counties here. I put in these counties to start because you guys can add them, custom or other. You guys can change them. Obviously, I put some that I'm in. El Paso County, Colorado Springs. You guys have heard me talk about that. There's San Diego and Los Angeles because we have a couple of people there. Here you guys go. Harris County, Dallas, Maricopa, Arizona. There's Las Vegas, Miami, Florida, Cook County, Illinois. There's a couple of ones in Washington State, Oregon. You guys can put custom and other, and we can change it anytime. You can change it. So this is really intelligence. It gets into tiers. It gets through, and I do have to go back and actually put in. That's one of the things I got to tweak on it this weekend is I got to put in the light versus dark, so you guys can do this. Now you guys get into here. You guys got tax delinquency, tax delinquent 2+ years, code violations, vacant, abandoned, owner mailing out of state, or you got mailing plus situs address, probate, estate ownership, NOD, NED, foreclosure filings, FED, UD, which are eviction filings. Just depends on the state. You got hold partial, hold period 20+ years, expired permit, failed, low improvement to lend ratio, upcoming redevelopment overlay, multiple complaints, code violations. You guys get into here. You got the demo. Gonna run you through it. CSV and XLS. You guys can enter CSVs and Excels, and you can save it to CSVs and Excels. So this will be available on Monday, just to kind of give you guys. I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to go back to core. So James, do you really quick want to introduce yourself to those who don't know you and kind of what you've been and what kind of, because everybody here that's on right now probably would be helpful. Fred's on. I know he's good in that. Matt's been with us for a while. Neil's on. We'll get to Jesse. He had to leave. He's traveling to a business, but yeah, do you want to kind of tell everybody kind of what we're kind of talking about right now?
Hey, sure. Give me a sec.
Yeah. So it's going to be, guys, it's going to be kind of a standalone system where, James is raising money with his guys right now, and we're going to be able to do some some wholesaling on our end that'll be kind of managed by us, and we're going to be bringing some of the people in that are already in the group that loan me money in EMD and GAP, so we can secure a lot of these opportunities, some of these properties and stuff. So it's just a way to do it. We're just talking it through right now, and I'm going to build it. So I don't know what the time frame is. I want to get it up sooner than later, but I also want to do it right. So James is probably going to head that up, and
yeah, I was gonna head it up. Sorry, I'm on a call right now, but I can do an intro, like an official intro, maybe tomorrow or something. Is that fine?
Yeah. So we'll have James prepare an intro for tomorrow night just to give everybody kind of a heads up. So like I said, does anybody else have any questions or anybody working on the stuff? Fred, what's going on? How are you going? I still need to do a one-on-one with you.
Yeah, we do. No, things are going pretty good. Really getting into the core, getting everything else set up, working on the skip tracing piece right now.
Yeah.
And it's gotten, is there a way to go in so it pulls like home? I can put in the homeowner, the name, but it like to get the phone numbers, email addresses, things like that? Or do you still have to go through the pay sites for those?
You can through. So what I would do is the AHJs may have them you may be able to see if they have the process serving. Basically ask them because they've had the process serving to the mailing. What I've told people is also at the same website. So let's say you're going to a certain county and you're getting the leads out of those counties anyway, is to see if they've got permits that have been pulled in those counties recently, or if they have the mail, the process serving, because obviously the sheriff or the process server or the whoever they mailed it to, will have numbers and emails. That's one place I tell people to save it. The other, there's another way to do it. James, I don't know, may have you tomorrow night just explain that Grok thing to me. I know not everybody has Grok, and I don't like sending people away from what we have, but Grok, obviously Twitter he was able to actually get one. You have to do it single address, and won't do a bulk of them. But there's that. You can go there. You don't really have to get into paid service. This what I just showed you guys now and what's in systems will actually work better than what's in core for having to go get the phone numbers if you're not able to find them. But
Yeah, because I've got several zombie foreclosure properties right now, and I've kind of exhausted my, like True People Search or Free People Search.
No, that's exactly why. And
you run into this, you'll probably get better results.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get better on systems, or when I get this GIS one done, because it actually looks things differently. I can send you over. I'll have its guide tomorrow, and I can send you the guide ahead of it. I'll make sure that everybody has the guide before, because I'll probably put it out. It's just really only a couple more things I got to tweak on there. I just got to put the light versus dark display and a couple other things. Because I'll show you in Netlify, I have credits, and every time I go in there, make a fix or something, or sometimes I fixed one, and then all of a sudden I got to go back in, because it doesn't let you put in, like you guys can imagine, they have versions, and it's like parentheses, and here's like multifamily analyzer parentheses 3. Well, you have to take out parentheses 3 if you actually leave it in there. When you go back to take it out, it charges you credits. So I'm trying to not do a lot of where I have to spend credits fixing a lot of, because I'm still learning code. You have to go in there and actually, if I showed you guys GitHub, I'm not coding, it's all coding, but sometimes I have to go in there and it tells me to go look for this line. In some cases, it's 2 or 3 things. I just have it rewrite it. I go delete it and add it again, and they fixed it, but it still charges me credits. So I can work on that. If you want to do a one-on-one, we can actually try to tackle that too, Fred, on that, what you're doing already. I think, honestly, the reason I built the GIS, the intelligence one, is so people could then, if they had any kind of pushback and they weren't able to get those 10 or 20% of the, the numbers and stuff that are available, then you could use, because this will scrape. The cloud side will scrape everything that's built that way. OpenAI doesn't like scraping, so it's not going to go past. Unless you're going to find a public records or find it somewhere. That's the one implicate. And I also need to get Eric on, because Eric has found how to do it. And I've been trying to get him on Lulu and trying to see what's. I don't know if you've talked to him yet. I know I tried to connect you guys, and the guy in Savannah. I want to get him on because he has actually tweaked it in a way that he's actually able to get all the numbers, because they get all the numbers from somewhere too. They go to databases like phone companies and stuff, telecom and all that to get them, but they're there. The biggest thing to do is if you get it's hard to do like a bulk on those, but you can do them like in a smaller numbers and ask them, to go to the HJ, to go to the county. You can go to the county and actually look through that same record, because they're going to have a record of those people at 2 or 3 different places in the county. They're going to have them at the county clerk, especially if they're in foreclosure, but also the tax assessor, and also the building department sometimes may have a permit that has the numbers on it. Because I've never seen a building permit where they didn't have to put the homeowner's phone number and contact information, because building inspectors have to call them for access sometimes, especially like on interior jobs. So that is
I've used Skipify AI is one I kind of found a little over a month ago.
Good.
But I've had an issue recently where, and maybe it's a rural county kind of thing, where I can see the address on the map, but their system won't pull it up. It says it's not findable.
I know exactly. That's the problem. And I see it all the time. And these ones that are charging like $200 a month all the time, I see that everybody complaining about those kind of issues. The company, they'll give you a lot of numbers, but they're not accurate. You've got to almost go and reorganize their numbers to make them work. Like they'll give you a bunch of numbers and you got to go organize it yourself. I'm trying. That's why I said I built this GIS system to handle that as well. Basically, it's what I'm trying to do is give you guys like a whole arsenal where if something's not quite, you're getting 70% of what you need, maybe just go here and get the other 30%.
Yeah, like I say, and I'll get it off of I'll copy the address off of PropStream. They'll pull it up. They'll have the address, owner, everything. I go to Skipify, and it says I can't find it, but
No,
so that's
exactly the problem we've had. So, like I said, try out this, and we'll try out the skip trace thing this weekend. But like I said, some of those in the APIs, like I'm saying, if you can't find it, I mean, I'm telling everybody, nobody should really ever, unless people are just using it all the time, it's use the API stuff as sparingly for those kind of situations where you can't get it off of core and you've got to go get it off the skip tracing, off the systems, or off of the GIS, the intelligence one. And you may not have, that same API will work. So maybe everybody has $50. It's just like storing it on there. It's not like a subscription where it spends it. It basically spends it as you use it.
That's what Skipify does. So I don't mind paying it, but because it does have good data.
Let's try to get it on, because I want to try to dial in ours because my goal is to get everybody off of PropStream and Skipify and all that. And it can do it. I just haven't, once we deploy it this weekend, we can, I'm sure we'll get it. We'll be able to figure out exactly how accurate. So far, because everything we've done, everything I've built has been deadly accurate. I mean, Willie Eric told me it was 97% accurate on numbers.
Yeah, now I know I've got it now where of course I'm on PropStream as well. And I upload properties into PropStream, get all the mortgage information, everything else out of PropStream, throw it right into Core. And now Core is ranking all these properties against my buy box. So when I go door knocking, I know A-list properties versus B-list, and it makes it extremely efficient and knowledgeable. It's fantastic.
No, I'm happy to hear that. No, like I said, I'm telling everybody, this is for you guys. I mean, everybody wants you guys, everybody's joining, everybody's on board. Everything we build is for you guys. So give me feedback and let's try to make this dialed in. Because the big thing is, now we're pushing this out. Obviously, it's our business is providing these resources and building these tools. The more you guys can help us on promo too helps, being able to build these other groups and say, hey man, this is what's going, this is, because that's the only pushback I get, all these groups that I'm bouncing around in, is that people are like, I don't see anybody else talking about it. I'm like, because you go and somebody asks them, have 8 people say PropStream or Deal Machine. And then I go, hey, where's RCIC? By the way, here's these graphics. And I'm like, why isn't I should get 20 people asking me about it? I might get 2. And it's
I haven't been able to. So when I go into the core and stuff, it asks hey, I need the data for this. So that's where PropStream comes in. So I'll get my weekly.
When it says that, and it gives you a kind of then that's screenshot that and send it to me, because I want to go put it in on my end here. And I want to be able to go in and fix that so people don't have to go to PropStream and ask that. Because that's, it's really trying to tweak. We can tweak this all day long. That's why I said the beauty of Core, we can tweak this thing all day long. We can.
We're way out ahead of most people when it goes to the different information and experiences and everything else that goes with it. Nobody's going to be able to keep up with this. So as you keep running into these things and you keep tweaking them and making adjustments, it picks that up and then it throws it in the thing, and you got 40, 50 people doing it now. You don't really have, it's going to be a very well-oiled machine here real soon. So if you can tune it up any faster or any more complete,
get it to me. Yeah, let me know what you're seeing. That goes for everybody. Everybody kind of, if you see something, it says something, gives you some kind of message or says, yeah, you got to do this. Screenshot it, copy and paste it, put it in a messenger, send it to me, especially in the morning hours. And I can build it, whatever we need, bridges, whatever we need. That's the best way to do it. I want to get this skip tracing thing where nobody has to go anywhere. I'd like nothing more than this. I mean, Fred, you're on what plan? A couple $100 a month for PropStream?
If it's $99 a month.
Oh, you're in the 99. Okay. Yeah.
So I think you get 10,000 downloads a month.
Yeah.
So I'm not anywhere close to that, but it's like I say. So what I do is I get the
10,000 unless they're a wholesaling company or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But so I'll get the weekly foreclosure list that comes out here for the counties I work. I upload that into PropStream, so it attaches all the data. download that CSV, throw it into Core, and then it spits me out a Excel spreadsheet that ranks every
Yeah.
property within these 5 counties. Says, hey, these are your A, B, C against my buy box, and so I know exactly which ones to hit.
Yours is becoming predictive.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's going to end up getting
absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah, and
cost.
I've got it now, so it's even. I can even when I say, hey, I'm going to hit these 4 counties and these areas within those counties, it'll rank that. It throws it on my door knocking sheet, builds out my drive list. So it's what used to take me all day to do for the next day. Now it takes me about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's really good because I mean that's the feedback you're giving me is like that I'm hearing that's good, so I can kind of start playing with that and how to get that for everybody. It's just like when Eric told me about what he's doing with skip tracing. Like I said, the big thing is like there's just so much noise out there with a lot of people just creating all this out of thin air, and it's trying to compete with everything. But like I said, once we're all dialed in, like I said, the beauty of it is you guys can. I mean, you guys get everything for free from my end. It's just deciding if you want to, use API or not.
Yeah, well, and I've also got it so I can even when I get done with a day, I take my notes, upload it back into my KPIs, and then it refeeds everything else. So it's tracking everything that I've done, so it doesn't repopulate those things for me, and then it's kind of giving advice as well. So it's and another thing I found here recently is I was switching between modes, and so I have an active deal project folder that I put all my current deals at, and I was getting frustrated having to, hey, go to comms mode, go to default, or go to.
Yeah.
Well, I just told him like,
Default's
hey,
not going to take you anywhere. It's just gonna,
no, but I said, hey, based off what we're talking about, do I need to automatically change your modes, or can you just do that? And it just said, it's like, hey, I can switch modes automatically based on your questions, and it does it all in the background. So you don't even have to tell it anymore. And it just swaps the mode. So I'm like, hey, I'm texting this guy. What do I say? Or
it does that
I'm
for
going to
me.
send this email. Yeah. And
Yeah,
but
does
it
that for
applied
me.
it across all of my projects. It makes it super easy. And now I don't even have to worry about it.
And that's what I tell everybody. It becomes predictive after you've been on there for a while because now you start noticing it and now knows a lot more what you're doing and what you're trying to do.
And just ask it.
Yeah.
Ask it what to do. And it said, oh yeah, I can do that. And it makes a huge difference too. And I said, hey, give me
I said, just if it gives you pushback or anything, just get that over to me right away on Messenger. It's in the afternoon. Right. I'll tell you, hey, here's the time I can go fix it. If it's in the morning between 8 o'clock and noon my time, dude, I can jump on it right away and get that thing fixed, get a solution for everybody. I like to get it for everybody because everybody's going to run into. That's the beauty of having this group and having these Zooms now. Like I want to get to the point now where we can actually do live deals and everybody can have their laptop or whatever. If you can do 2 devices without giving feedback, without having feedback issues, everybody can be on there like sharing ideas and like, hey, this works. Because I've come up with a theory and I believe it's true. You could have 2 people on the same street, exactly neighbors, doing the same things who don't even know each other. They could be flipping, doing the same neighborhood, and they will never really compete because even if they're doing flips, because their buy boxes could be that much different, because their tolerances are different, their interests are different, their rehab comfort is different, everything. And that's why I think the beauty of the system and it helps everybody. It's phenomenal that way. I mean, it's really, like I said, having people across the board is good. Let me see real quick. Got a couple of other people. Ginger, I know you said you had to go. Let me grab you real quick and then I'll grab Neil and Matt. What's going on? How are you?
Oh, not too much. I'm kind of doing a bunch of training on a bunch of different things. So I haven't really got to mess with it too much this week. Okay. But I'll start a little bit next week. I've been staying with this lady in the evening, so she won't really let me on the computer.
Your head around core, and then, like I said, I got the other 18,000 programs I've built.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a lot of fingers in a lot of pots there.
You can tell, so can Matt, so can Neil. You guys can tell everybody. You remember we were just using databases in the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Truth be known, you all are looking at an AI program, just looking like Nate and acting like Nate and sounding like Nate on the Zoom call.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay, real quick, just so you guys know, and I'll tell everybody, and I'll show this on video. When I posted last week that I was going to be in the VA house, I'm not going in the hospital. The reason I'm going, guys, I'm doing, and I'll show you on the teeth, but I have to get a couple of implants in the VA dental implants, and the VA hospital doesn't have an implant clinic, but the Army Hospital for Carson does, and so for Carson is about 85 miles away, and I have to go there 3 times in like 10 days. So rather than going down to 180 miles or whatever each way, they got permission of the base commander for me to stay in the hospital on base. I don't have to stay in the hospital the whole time. I can just go back and forth. So everybody was jumping on saying, I wish you well. And I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital because I'm sick. It's convenient so I can go down and get all these implants done. I've been fighting with the Army forever for those. So I wanted to clarify that because everybody knows like Ginger was in the Navy, so just so you guys know. So just had to go through a lot of, because I know I posted that and everybody was like sending me well wishes or whatever, which I appreciate.
Right.
I had to go and say, hey, I'm not dying or anything. I'm going there to get dental.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I know. Yeah, cool. Let me know too if you want to do a one-on-one and go get your core built up, because I want to get you into these other systems as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, let me get past this weekend and I'll have a little more free
Yeah,
time. So, yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Hey Neil, what's going on? How are you?
I'm all right. Getting
Yeah.
things done, fitting in. I kind of like Ginger, got a lot of irons in the fire for a little bit. So
Cool.
some of it's starting to cool out a little bit.
Yeah, so that'd be good, man. I appreciate it. Let me know when you want to do another one-on-one before we can get you.
Yeah, that's my main thing right now is all my laptops and computers took a crap. I'm back to Windows 7 machine that is slow as can be.
You're still in Colorado though, right?
Yeah.
Just drive down to Denver and Yale and like Yale and Colorado Boulevard where Sprouts is, the grocery store.
Yeah, grocery stores. I delivered to them.
Actually, look it up. You guys look at it because they ship, guys. If anybody needs a really good deal on computers, I tell you what, go to and Neil can attest because I had the same computer when I was when I met you 7 years ago, and I still have it.
Yeah.
So go to
Windows 7's getting slow,
Go to actioncomputers.com, anybody, and so I got this computer that I got now. I've had it for 7 years. I've got the other one that personal one that I tried. I'm going to test it this weekend so I can actually make sure it can share screen. I just got it in October from Action, $315 out the door as a refurb, and I'll load it up brand new. I mean, it's like it can hold like 5 to. I mean, it's just a sick amount of memory. It's incredible, and it's got 3 years of what they call ESET, which is they don't sell ESET for security at Best Buy, put it that way. 3 years, and it's like top level. ESET was one of the partners was a CIA cyber guru who retired from ESET. So I've got 3 years of that. Got all the my Word and all that stuff in there. $315 out the door.
Well, I was mentioning maybe if we can come up with some kind of little sales tool, and we can just drop a link on people that sends them to a little presentation or something like that kind of starts to show what you got going and stuff, to get memberships out.
Yeah, I want to do that. I'd like to maybe do a thing where it's a little more organized.
Maybe is there somebody on our team that's better at that kind of stuff? I'm kind of too logical, I think, for it.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. And people have asked me, should you do like a Loom video?
Yeah. Less complicated at the beginning, I figured.
I've done some Zooms myself, like just with me, and put them on a couple of weeks ago. It was like 15 minutes because that was. But see, now I got systems, so the fact that we have like a website is different than because I didn't have one until I built systems, and now we got all these apps and stuff, and I can show those and I can post those, and I go out and post them, and I tell people it's a mock-up. Don't go in there, look around, you can play with some of the stuff, but it's not functional. Well, I bring them online with all these like Acquisition OS and all that stuff. They're all systems is 100% functional, but people are gonna have to use API. They're gonna have to get an API account.
Yeah, I dialed in the API, so I bought a little subscription. Hey, when you were talking about the buyers and stuff, should we put ourselves in as a buyer?
Yeah, just so you can familiarize yourself with how to put people in. you should
Right.
sort of, put yours
And then
in.
it can come around to us if it's something
Yeah.
we want.
Yeah, do that and then play around with a little bit on the API. Let me know how that goes too on your API. I want
Yeah.
feedback from everybody on everything. What's working good? What you think we should add? What is if there's any hiccups? Because I'd like to know those. Like, the best time in the morning is to get those to me on copy and paste or screenshot in the morning and send it to me because I can fix it right away. I want to know those
Yeah.
things because I'm helping you guys actually become a lot more efficient. And then what we need to build, I've got to go do some tweaking on this one, put in the light versus dark display, things like that. Well, people
That's a
like
good-
that. People said that, and I was already thinking about that. It just motivated me. Like,
Yeah.
I have to look at everything dark because of the TBI and stuff. But there's sometimes
Right.
and you guys know as many times as I stare at computer screens all day now, I actually have to add an optometrist appointment to go because I'm like looking at screens all day long now.
Wow. I just
But
got the VA sent me some new glasses, so we'll see how they do.
they're getting me new teeth, like 5 implants. It's like almost
I was wondering if I could do that because I wouldn't mind. It's like my teeth are deteriorating around the
I don't know
mercury.
what they would do on for that reason. Mine were still tied to it because of the parachuting accident. Because
Oh yeah,
technically, I was a
right,
human dart.
right. No, I can see that. I got 26. I was a reservist to start. I went to boot camp in A school and then I was out. And on the way out, they go, "Oh, you got 26 cavities. We can set up a 2-week thing for it." And I go, "I get out in 2 days, man. Can you do them all in 1 day?" So I got 26 cavities filled in 1 day. But now I wish they wouldn't. The mercury's like killing
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna have to sedation to do 5 implants at one time.
Yeah, well, let me know how that goes because my
5 implants are
daughter-in-law.
actually easier than
I told my daughter-in-law to get implants, and she went and got dentures, and it's like now she doesn't wear them because they're such a bother, and it's like
yeah.
you're just
I'm
stuck
gonna
with
go
what I can.
the Zoom stuff while we finish up the conversation.
Yeah,
Um, but no,
and
that's
then
hey Matt, what's going on, dude?
what about the idea of businesses? Do we ever want to do buy and sell businesses on this?
We can put some stuff in there for that. I mean, I'm open to that. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, in the past, I've tried not to avoid
Like
like
laundromats and
I tried to
laundromats.
avoid getting outside of real estate just because I don't, like I said, the big thing with me right now is I'm not trying to use a lot of my credits for a lot of fixes and things when I've got
Right,
plans.
right. No, I understand. I
Like
just
I have no
wondered
problem if people want to, if people there's enough people want to do it, we can build it.
things like the
I don't
easy
put money
stuff,
for one
say like
person because
laundromats or storage, self-storage places.
yeah, those kind of things I think are different. And I look at things
Yeah.
different now than I did with PMA, trying to do like because at that area we weren't a lot of people just thought we were gonna write a check. Hey, here's your check.
Right,
People thought that. And it didn't
right.
help that Sean kind of told people that all the time. You guys probably don't hear, but well, everybody here knows probably who Sean is, except for Fred and
Yeah,
Jim. Yeah,
couple of us.
yeah. And I love Sean, but he's a good friend still, but he's not, I don't know.
Hey, it's not for everybody, you know.
Well, he had his mini stroke, and that didn't help. He was fine before.
Oh,
A lot of
wow.
people didn't know that he had
Wow,
he
I
was
didn't know
like
that.
December 2019. So in 2020, 2021, he was recovering from that, and I shouldn't. At the time, I was like, I was trying to give him a chance because at times it seemed like he was getting over things. Let me go ahead. I'm trying to get this thing. I'm trying to get it tapped in so I can get the Zoom done. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll finish up this conversation. I'm gonna go try to watch the hockey game tonight because the Avalanche are playing. Hey Matt, what's going on? You want to kind of let me know what you're doing? Matt's doing some cool. Hey, did you get that thing I sent you today? That War Dogs Academy?
I didn't get to be able to click on the link, but I have seen his ads. I think it was one of his ads that made me actually research it.
Yeah, so you guys know this is one of those guys from the War Dogs movie that they did actually go to federal prison, but he's the guy that was probably not the responsible one for that. He was actually seemed to be level-headed. So Matt's doing government contract, trying to bid on government contracts. This is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, that's what made me go into taking a class at Villanova. Villanova University has online courses. It's like $2,500 to learn what the contracting officer does, but the teacher is like, if a prime contractor or somebody that wants to apply for the solicitations takes this class, it's even better because they now have reassurance that you understand the compliances that you need to follow in order to get the contract and be awarded and do the work. But as far as RCIC, I have put it in my system. I use Base 44, and it has an AI agent in it, and it synchronizes with everything. And once I run out of those credits, I can easily go to ChatGPT. But it's not able to pull lists and do things like the API, so I still need to subscribe to that. But as far as comping and getting all the necessary information for the deal, it can do that. And when you give it a list, it's able to give you the best deals out of that list and stuff like that. I just have to move forward and figure out who my buyers are and what I want to do, really.
Cool. Awesome. Dude, let me know too what you want to. And then RCIC system is good unless you just, the one I showed you, the one that you have the access key to set up, and then you can do skip tracing and all that. You can do a lot of the API stuff in that. And connect it. It's pretty sick. And then use Core. The best part for everybody is that Core will help you, on the API it'll probably help you do 70% of the stuff you need API for in the other system, which will save you. You want, people can throw $50 or whatever in there. It's not like a subscription where you're paying per month. You just put the money in there and it just spends it as you spend it. If you put 50 in there, I don't know how much the tokens cost and all that. They're always working on tokens and ways, their strategies. I'm in a lot of AI groups, and I try not to. It's hard for me to recommend them because sometimes I see these groups that are just they're more horrible than real estate groups, and that you've been around me long enough to know that I get frustrated with those. That's why I started going this direction. Everybody doesn't know that it's like everything I've done since 2020 or in 2019 was because everything in 2017 and 19 changed in COVID. And, a lot of people like, how do I help these clients? I do go to 62 deals. How do I help my clients? I got to get more resources, more knowledge, pass it on. Everything's been an evolution for the last 7 years. It's like, and there's a Neil and Ginger and Kevin can attest. The Leon Arnold system teaches you a lot of good stuff in that 40-hour class, but it doesn't teach anything about multifamily or commercial real estate or all the stuff that, I made a lot more money in helping people there than I ever did with single family. Which is what it trains you for. Because they don't train anybody outside of single family flips and rentals. They do up to like 4 units. That's it for multifamily, and then they stop unless they've changed by now. Obviously,
it's definitely comprehensive, that's for sure.
Yeah, but no, it's comprehensive in that. It was awesome. Best education, and it gave me the foundation. It's like this. I built on the foundation. You guys know on this core, once you guys have it, and it's going predictive, like Fred was talking about, it's starting to work that way for him, as well as like Eric and stuff. If you guys are using it, man, you guys can start figuring out what you want to build on top of it. Do you want to do your own GPT? Because then I'll jump on a one-on-one, we'll build your own GPT. I'll walk you through that process. Tell me what you want to do with it for your real estate business. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. Build the GPT. Have your own. You can build 2. You could have one that you do all your stuff in. It has everything. You can have one you can share links with people that you do business with. It's kind of cool that way. All right, guys. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m., we will actually go over one more time on the buy box stuff. So probably the last one we do. Because if anybody needs any help, and I'm telling people that aren't on tonight, if anybody needs that help after that, I'll do it on a one-on-one. I'm at the point now where we've actually got to get into capital passport and stuff like that. Start getting it out of deal analysis and start getting it to the lenders. So we're going to work on that. Anybody got any questions, let me know. I will have this video up for replay tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock, and I will send out the invitations for tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Denver time. Anybody got any questions? If not, I will see you tomorrow.
Good call, Nate. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks. Let me know too, Fred, when you want to do your one-on-one.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Nick.
we'll do.
Okay, and then we'll jump on trying to get that skip tracing thing going.
Sounds good, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, cool, Matt, Ginger.
Night.
Neil.
Good night.
All right, cool. Talk to me.
See you guys.
See you.